Today we are at Barnes & Noble and we are on a mission. There are 3 items inside this Barnes & Noble that I am looking for and hoping they have. The first one is Accomplice to the Villain. I have loved the other books in this series, The Assistant to the Villain and The Apprentice to the Villain. Those are the first 2 books. This is the third one. It just came out and I cannot wait any longer. I want to get my hands on it. Even though I have a couple other books I have to finish first, it is really close to next on my list. The other book that I am looking for is A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. I have been listening to this on audiobook, but it was actually selected as the book club pick for the White Coats and Love Notes book club that I run through Fable. If you haven't joined and you want to get involved, please do. I would love to have you. And that was this month's pick, so I've been listening to it over on Everand, which is the audiobook platform that I typically use. And I'm loving, by the way, it is really great. But the problem with audiobooks when I'm trying to run the book club is referencing back to the things that I've already read or listened to. It's just not very easy to do and to make comments back about things because it's like hard to reference the exact location. So I want to get a physical copy of it as well. And then the last thing I'm looking for is a little bit more ambiguous, and that's coloring books. So I have a few coloring books and I'm trying to look for things to replace screen time. So a lot of times when we are watching TV, especially something that I've seen before, or my husband likes to watch YouTubers that maybe aren't my favorite or I'm not as into, and I'm totally fine with them being on the background of the screen, but a lot of times I'll like play a game on my phone and I'm trying to stop spending so much time on my phone. So I thought coloring would be a good option to replace that, and I wanted to see what kind of coloring books they had here. I know that there's a Throne of Glass one, and there's also an ACOTAR one, and there's a Fourth Wing one, actually 2 Fourth Wing coloring books coming out very soon, but they are not out yet. So I'm not going to be able to get those, but I can look for the other ones to see what they have, or maybe something totally different that I didn't know existed because I haven't been looking. So let's go see what we can find. I have my tote bag here and we're ready to go. So this shelf is super cute. So it has Say You'll Remember Me, Summer in the City, Great Big Beautiful Life. Love all of the like little cute book accents going on here on this display. It's super cute. This display is really cool. It's saying to read these if you liked these books over here. So this is a new YA pick. I've seen it a couple places already in here, so they're really pushing for that one. And then the Cautious Traveler's Guides to the Wasteland, if you like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and just all the way down. I like getting recommendations like this because if you have read some of these more popular books, that you have an idea of what this book is going to be like. This book is majorly on my TBR. I cannot wait to read it. I'm very into space. The only thing that is bothering me is that this is not removable. Hate that, but they do have a little space shuttle launch set to go along with Atmosphere. So Sarah Penner wrote one of my favorite books, The Lost Apothecary, and this is a really cool, fun version of her newest release. We have a Jennifer Lynn Barnes table here, so the naturals with the puzzle pieces, edges, and then I have not seen Glorious Rivals yet. This is the first time I'm seeing that in the wild. No special edges, but I love the white, gold, and purple here. It's really pretty. We have the Romantasy table, so we have to check that out. I haven't heard of this, but I mean, A Court of Thorns and Wings, that's a little too much like A Court of Thorns and Roses, but you know, it's a court of everything for a lot of these Romantasy books. So not surprising to see something with such a similar name. Metal Slinger, I have been hearing all about this book. I'm actually going to be getting it probably in a book box because that's my guess for one of the upcoming book boxes. So I'm excited to read that, but I have been seeing and hearing this everywhere that it's really, really good. The glow of the Everflame here with the fancy edges, not really my favorite. I know they're going for like a slightly charred, burned look, but it's not very pretty and it's kind of faded, I'm not gonna lie. I have no desire to read a shifter romance. They're not my thing, but the edges of this one are really cool, and I just love the cover. It's really, really gorgeous. So I've also been seeing these everywhere. There's like exclusive editions for all kinds of different places. So Barnes & Noble has one. We were on Walmart the other day picking up some stuff, and I saw it there. The Hour of the Pumpkin Queen. So it is based off The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's Sally's story, and the edges are pretty cool. I'm not sure that that's something I want to get, but you can also see this is the different edges and the different cover based on the paperback versus the hardback. Oh wait, these are different books. This is Long Live the Pumpkin Queen. This is The Hour of Pumpkin Queen. So they're different authors too. Interesting. I'm assuming what I'm looking for is going to be in this fantasy shelf. Ooh, Wooing the Witch Queen. I actually just finished this. I don't know if the video of me reading this in a castle is going to be out before or after this vlog. I haven't decided yet, but this book is really good. So if it's up, I'll leave it linked down below. And if it's not up, then you should subscribe so you can see it, because I go all through what I think of this book, and we're staying in a castle and it's super fun. So far, I'm not seeing what I'm looking for at all, which is kind of concerning, because I went to an independent bookstore to try to find what I was looking for already, and they didn't have it, which is a bummer because I wanted to get it from them. But then I was like, well, I'll come here and we'll see if I can find it. So far, I'm not finding it. I did find a copy here of Assistant to the Villain, which is the first book in the series, but not the third one. I mean, they technically could have put this in the romance section, but I don't think it would be. I'm talking about A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. That one is what I'm talking about, but I don't think it would be there. But I guess we'll keep looking. I mean, it technically could be in this romance section, although I don't think it would be, just because it's not like a romance book at baseline, but you know, maybe. We're gonna see. Because these are obviously more like fantasy romances, and they're in the romance section. And I walked right past it. There it is. Facing Out, A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. Look how floppy this is. I love a good floppy paperback. So if you aren't familiar with this book, the idea behind this is there's a witch named Sarah. She's very, very powerful, and she does a resurrection spell. It brings her aunt back to life, but that is illegal, and she ends up losing access to her magic and ends up running a magical inn. And she is doing her best to try to get her magic back, and they found a way for her to do it. And there's a boy named Luke who is helping her, who does still have his magic. And so far, it's been a really cute story. I have like 2 hours left in the audiobook, and I'm really enjoying it so far. And I think it's a really nice, fun, and cozy read, perfect for heading into fall. Also have several of mostly what looks like romance books here. Even Barnes & Noble exclusives for buy one, get one 50% off. These just have standard edges, the Summer Broken Rules. It looks like there's both sprayed edged, non-sprayed edged versions here, but there's several of them that are the buy one, get one 50% off. We got an SJM table, and there is a Court of Thorns and Roses coloring book here. This is the one I've been looking for. If I don't find the Throne of Glass one, I will probably just, by process of elimination, go ahead and choose this one. But we'll leave this here as we look through the table and look around, see if I can find another one. But they have the Barnes & Noble exclusive editions of Crescent City that don't actually have the title on the front, just the images. And then these solid black exclusive editions. Now here's the thing. These are just black, and I find them very boring for an exclusive edition. Like, I really do like the bright covers better, but that's just my personal opinion. I'm curious, what do you think? Do you like these dark covers or the bright one? This is another one on my TBR. So V.E. Schwab signed all of the first print editions, which is absolutely insane. And this is going to be a book club option for a local book club that I'm in. So I will be reading it soon, and I'm buying it from the local bookstore that's running that. But I just think it's crazy that all of the first prints are also signed. An entire table of beautiful edges. The last one, Scarred. This book is really beautiful. It's got the rounded spine with the written on edges here with the fire. These are like really vivid and bright, very beautiful. And this is one that I've already purchased and cannot wait to read, but I love the edges on this one too, the Sirens. It is a standalone, which I wanted to get a standalone because I'm in the process of like so many series that it's nice to have something that I know that I can pick this up and it's just going to be the one book. So they have more books here on the buy one, get one 50% off table. This is one that's on my list. I've heard this is a really good cozy fantasy. I've also heard that One Golden Summer is a really good Carly Fortune book, perfect for summer, floppy, good lake read. And then Just for Summer by Abby Jimenez is of course on my list. I haven't read but like 2 of her books, including her new release. And then I read a novella as well, but I have her books on my list in the future. And right now it's buy one, get one 50% off. but I'm trying to like keep myself under control, so not yet. I was starting to think I wasn't going to find it, but then I walked around the corner and I apparently walked right past it. Let me show you. I found Accomplice to the Villain. Like I said, I was like, there has to be here. I was like right over there. That's the little card I showed you at the beginning. It was right here. I walked right past it, didn't even notice it. So they do have the book itself, which I will be picking up in a second. But then some fun merch caring about other people is very irritating. Little wanted villain stickers. This has like a sticker and some notepads and a bookmark, a keychain. These are Evie's note to self. Stop trying to get the boss to laugh, Evie. Danger is an attractive, Evie. Don't touch the boss's hair, Evie. She doesn't listen to any of these things. So they have the apprentice to the villain and accomplice to the villain. So accomplice to the villain, you're coming home with me. I'm not sure exactly where the just coloring books are, so I'm going to search around and see if I can find them. Oh wait, I just found the coloring book section. It's behind me and somebody's in front of it, so we're gonna wait for them to leave and then we're gonna check it out. So while I was waiting, I found this, which is a hardback journal, and the cover is Yellowstone. Yellowstone is my absolute favorite place in the world, and it was only $13.99, and I can always use a journal, so we're gonna be adding this to the bag as well. Whoops. Okay, let's go through the haul, just as a reminder of everything that we picked up today. So, first off, we have A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. I already told you a little bit about this book, so we're not going to talk about it anymore, other than if you haven't joined the book club, I would love to have you in the book club. I will leave a link down below to the White Coats and Love Notes book club. You do not have to be a pharmacist to be in there, but there will be a lot of pharmacists and pharmacy workers in there, so just be warned that there may be topics related to that come up during some of these books. Then we have Accomplice to the Villain, the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. I love how bright green these edges are. Super fun. I love Kingsley up here in the corner. We love Kingsley. I'm curious what all the little things on the cover are. I like going back through after reading these books to like spot all the Easter eggs on the cover, because this cover does have that. If you haven't read the series, it is a comedic fantasy romance. And it's about a girl named Evie, and she needs a job, stumbles upon the villain in the first book, and becomes his assistant. And there's a lot of hijinks and fun that happens. And so we're to the point at this book that there is an overall plot and theme for the whole series. There's a big bad guy that they're trying to take down, and the romance is heating up. So I am so looking forward to this. The second book in this series, while I loved it, did not move the plot a ton forward. I feel like it was not a filler book completely, because there was some things that happened at the end, but there wasn't as much plot movement as I thought there was going to be. I also thought that this was going to be the last book in the series, and apparently it has been announced that it's not, which I really hate that authors, and I know it's not the author's fault, so I should say publishers, are changing how many books are in a series and waiting until what we think is the last book is out to tell us. The same thing happened with Alex Asher. She wrote the Lightlark series, and so I thought that the last book that she brought out, which I can't think of the name of it right now, I'm blanking. I'll put it on the screen for you. But I thought that was going to be the last book, and now she's announced more. And I found that out after the last book had come out, and it's like, could you just tell us ahead of time? Like, it's fine if you decide to change your mind, but like, give us a heads up before we think that we're opening the ending and then are disappointed. Either way, I'm still very excited to read this because this is the kind of book that I just smile reading because it's funny, it's cute, it's cozy, very low stakes, and just overall enjoyable to read. Then I got a hardback Yellowstone notebook. Like I said, Yellowstone is just my favorite place in the world. The end pages are really pretty here. It's got, I don't know why it has alligators though. Like that's kind of weird. Like there's alligators. There's not alligators in Yellowstone. There are some herons. I've seen herons there. Maybe because it's just national parks in general, but it's got some quotes in here with the lines. There's little buffalo compasses in the corner. We also have a ribbon to keep track of where you are. I love a good notebook, so I couldn't resist. And then last, but certainly not least, is the Throne of Glass coloring book. Between Throne of Glass and ACOTAR, I will always pick Throne of Glass. It's just better. And the main character is much more enjoyable and relatable to me. So I'm very excited to go through this. I love the characters in Throne of Glass, the world in Throne of Glass. These really look like they should keep me busy. There's like quotes from the different books in here next to the pictures. So it's almost like every other page is a coloring page because this is the page with like the quotes from where this is coming from. So whatever coloring you're doing on this side isn't going to bleed through to a page that you're also doing coloring on the other side. And with that, I unfortunately have to adult and go get groceries and things like that. And you guys don't want to see that. That's boring. That's no fun. But I hoped you liked this Barnes & Noble haul / shopping adventure. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Here's another one that you can watch. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!